Elite Facts presents
Insane reasons people ever got a divorce. 8. He built a wall. Must avoid obvious joke. Okay, I think we're good. Anyway, most men love construction. There's nothing better than building something from scratch and having the right of saying, yeah, I built that. Well, as it turns out, one man's wife wasn't too happy with his DIY attitude. Back in 2009, a German woman decided that enough was enough and filed for divorce after her husband knocked down and rebuilt a wall in their home because, according to him, the wall was dirty. Now, if the paint was dirty, why didn't he just paint over it? If he was referring to something like the plastering job, why didn't he just plaster it again instead of going through the trouble of tearing it down and rebuilding it? This was apparently the final straw in a 15-year marriage, during which the husband obsessively cleaned the house and rearranged the furniture.
7.
Husband was too nice. Now, this one is simply downright ridiculous. Back in 2011, there was an episode of Divorce Court which showcased a woman who complained to the judge that her husband was being way too nice to her. I mean, is that even a thing? Sure, it might be a little creepy, but we'd rather that than the opposite side of the spectrum, if you know what we mean. Anyway, after hearing this, the judge gave her a baffled look. The judge called the wife ungrateful and self-centered, lecturing her on not realizing how good of a man she had. Now, okay, this reason is absolutely ridiculous. However, the reason it's not any higher is because maybe she thought that he was just boring. Sure, it's still a dumb excuse, but believe us, there's much worse on this list. Perhaps she needed to have more passion in her life, and she knew her husband was unable to provide that for her. A passionless marriage is an unhappy marriage.
6.
Soap operas are the key to a successful marriage. Okay, when your wife has the TV remote, don't grab it and just change the channel. For the love of God, don't do it. Let her enjoy what she's watching. Case in point, an Indian woman left her significant other because he forbade her from watching her favorite television shows. At first, the couple would get into constant arguments about it, but after a while, when the arguments became too much to bear, she decided to leave him. You heard that correctly. She left him because he wouldn't allow her to watch her favorite shows. Yeah, pretty drastic, but when you're not even allowed the freedom to watch the shows you want, let alone live the life you want, then something needs to be done. I don't know if divorce was the right choice, but hey, more power to her if she thinks that's what's best. Anyway, while this was an unusual reason to leave someone, having an overly demanding spouse can undoubtedly be very stressful, and it can have a detrimental effect on a marriage. Again, she did try to compromise with her husband, but her husband would not budge. If you can't reach a compromise, your marriage simply will not work.
5.
Through Facebook. I mean, at least he didn't just do it through text, I suppose. So according to a lot of people, social media is the root of all evil. Now, we don't believe this, as that statement is pretty much total garbage, but stories like this make it seem as though social media brings out the worst in us. A woman named Emma Brady learned that her husband was leaving her from something he posted on Facebook. Not only that, she wasn't even the first person to learn about the divorce. Before Brady knew what hit her, a friend of hers called her to console her about the breakup. Imagine that. That would be the most awkward conversation to be a part of. Awkward for both Emily and the friend. Anyway, at first, Emma Brady was baffled. Then she felt humiliated. That said, the marriage disintegrated after that. What's the lesson here? Well, if you want to get a divorce, your spouse should probably be the first person that hears about it.
4.
A couple's parrot rats husband out. I think a lot of us have always wanted a parrot for the exact same reason, to teach it a bunch of swear words and have it repeat everything you say to annoy someone. Well, one man bit off more than he could chew, as his pet parrot actually ratted him out to his wife. Back in 2001, a Chinese woman suspected that her spouse was cheating on her because their parrot was constantly repeating several phrases of the husband's various telephone conversations with his lover. Apparently, the wife was visiting her parents for a full month, and when she got back, the parrot uttered words such as divorce, I love you, and be patient. Being suspicious of all this, she decided to beat her husband to the punch and divorce him instead of waiting for the inevitable. What did we learn here? If you want it to be a secret, don't talk around a freaking parrot.
3.
Husband hated the film Frozen. So we don't think we need to say this, but we're going to say it anyway. The movie Frozen is one of the biggest movies to come out over the last several years. Many people really enjoyed the movie, and we mean really enjoyed the movie. So much so that they wouldn't stop singing that damn song. Although this situation is a little different than the rest, one woman was seemingly obsessed with the film as she coerced her husband into watching it. When her husband told her that he was apathetic toward the movie, she became very upset. I mean, that's understandable if you're trying to share your interests with your spouse and they simply can't stand that said interest. It's reasonable to get upset over something like that. But she doesn't exactly take this statement very well. The wife told him that because he could not see the movie was so great, there must be something wrong with him as a human being. For the record, the husband said that there were not any significant problems with their marriage in the few years they had been together. The wife ended up letting him go through means of divorce.
2,
A darker power made him do it. Okay, so we've had some pretty outrageous excuses, but brace yourself. This one is just downright crazy. An Italian man filed for divorce on the grounds that his wife was possessed by the devil. Yeah, you simply can't make this stuff up. Apparently, the woman had displayed inexplicable behavior since 2007, including fits, body stiffening, and even self-levitation. Now, if all of this was legit, especially the self-levitation, we'd probably run as well. But it bears the question as to why the husband didn't seek help or advice if this possession was even a real thing. A court in Milan granted the divorce, acknowledging the existence of the behavior, but declining to say if it was the wife's fault. Religion is a serious matter, but it can also be a rich source of jokes.
1,
Lottery dispute. In January of 1997, a California woman filed for divorce after 25 years of what her husband believed had been a happy marriage. The real reason didn't come out until 2 years later. On December 28, 1996, only a mere 11 days before she filed for divorce, the wife had won $1.3 million in the California lottery. Because of this, she did everything within her power to keep her lottery win out of sight while the divorce proceedings went through. When the truth came out, a Los Angeles family court judge ruled that the woman had violated state asset disclosure laws and awarded every cent of her lottery winnings to her ex-husband. It's now safe to say that money does indeed change people. And that's our list. Did we leave any out that you know about? Let us know in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more elite facts.